We're excited to have Eric Majette here, and he's going to talk a little bit about Minecraft and how to use Minecraft to explore creativity. So put your hands together and say welcome to Eric.
Good morning. Welcome to ConfabuLarryum. It's a really cool event, and really excited to be a part of it, although I can't compete with R2-D2, but we're going to try. My name is Eric Majette. As he mentioned, I teach science just down the road at Eudora High School. So that's my day job. My night job is I'm a parent of two awesome kids, one of whom is up here with me, and this is Matthew, and I'll give Matthew a chance to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Matthew, and I'm happy to be here to play Minecraft. I think it'll be really fun.
And so the idea is that as I do the presentation, Matthew is going to kind of play through a game of Minecraft. That's the issue that we're having right now, is we're not, my computer's not talking to their projector. So they're going to continue to work on that, but we're going to go ahead and roll forward with the presentation. And I'll start by explaining kind of where we come at this from. About 18 months ago, Matthew came home from school, and he asked me if I'd ever heard of this game called Minecraft. And since I coexist with adolescents on a daily basis, and I think for those of you who either live with or work with adolescents, you know that coexist is definitely the right verb to use there. Since I am with these adolescents all day as a teacher, I told them that yes, I am familiar with the game of Minecraft, but no, I knew absolutely nothing about it. And before I get any further into this story, I want to remind, hey, look at that, we're getting somewhere. Before I get any further into this story, I want to remind you that this session is called Encouraging Mine-craftiness. And the idea here, what we want to point out to you, is that we can use video games, and specifically this video game, to encourage some really important skills in our children. And when Matthew came home from school that day and asked if I had ever heard of Minecraft, and I answered no, I have not. That gave me really my first introduction into what an awesome, hey, it's Miss Smoke. What an awesome video game this can be, and what an awesome challenge this can be for us. Because in that moment, we went over to Minecraft.net, we downloaded the free little online demo that they let you play without paying. And in that moment, we were peers. It completely leveled the playing field. For a little while, he wasn't the expert and I wasn't the expert. And he wasn't teaching me and I wasn't teaching him. But we were able to be in a moment together, truly exploring and being truly creative in doing something. And so that initial introduction to Minecraft that we got served as kind of the baseline for how we've used it as a way to foster creativity and to foster creative thinking in our kids. So to continue my story here, we jumped in after that initial trial. First we played through the little online trial which they give you, and it doesn't give you enough time really to figure anything out about the game. And then we downloaded the free app for our tablets, and then we paid for the cheap app on the tablets, and eventually we went in whole hog and paid for the full deluxe computerized version, and now here we are 18 months later, and thanks to the generous volunteering of my wife, we're standing up here on stage in front of you all to share a vision with you. What I can tell you is that in the last 18 months, I wrote these down. In the last 18 months since we started playing this game, we have survived several years of Minecraft days. We've survived many worlds, thousands of zombies, countless trips to a mysterious realm called the Nether, and even an Ender Dragon or two. We're not here today to pretend to be experts. We're far from experts, but what we're here today to do is to share with you our journey into Minecraft, to kind of share with you how we play Minecraft and why we like playing this game. And go ahead and get started there, Matthew. Pull up a new single-player game and get going. So what I want to do here today is really four things. The first thing I want you to do is, if you're new to the Minecraft universe, I want to give you kind of a brief introduction to the game. I want to take that learning curve and I want to bring it down a little bit. I want you, whether you're a big you or whether you're a little you, to be able to jump in and start playing this game and enjoying this game much more quickly. For those of you who are more familiar with this game, I'm going to share with you some of the things that both as a parent and as a teacher of science, I think we can use this game to foster in our children. Things like creativity, and cognitive skills, and problem solving. And I think there's a lot of really cool things we can do with that. I want to also talk to you about reinforcing boundaries instead of stigmas. In a digital age, we have to get over this idea that if you play video games, you're going to live your entire life in your mom's basement. I love this kid to death, but if he's in my basement when he's 35, we're going to have issues. We have to start reinforcing boundaries and stop reinforcing stigmas. We can use video games as a productive way to help raise our kids and teach our kids new things. Quick audience poll. How many of you have heard of Minecraft? How many of you have played Minecraft? This kid in the third row is really excited. How many of you are regular players of Minecraft? Okay, so we've got a few out there. You will probably know more about the game than we do, to be honest. So we're not here to be an expert. But what we're going to do, my talk is going to last probably about 20-25 minutes, and when we're done with that, we're going to kind of open it up and have a discussion. We'll talk about some questions, some concerns, maybe give you a chance to share some of the things that you like about this game or some of the things that you've discovered about this game, and maybe give Matthew an opportunity to talk a little bit about what he's doing and why he likes the game. And then the fourth and the final thing that I want to do is I want to have fun. Because at the end of the day, this is a game. People, and the purpose of a game is to have fun. So we're going to try to have some fun here today. Oh, that works good. Well-produced little trailer there, an introduction to the game, if you're not familiar with it. Who is this? Steve! This is Steve. And when the game begins, Steve wakes up in a new world. He's completely alone, and he has nothing but the clothes on his back. And from there, Steve has to move out and start making an existence or making a living in this brave new world. A couple of things that you'll recognize when you first start the game is you'll recognize that Steve's world is very unique. Probably the most unique thing about it is it's incredibly pixelated, it's incredibly blocky. As the big video game franchises are consistently trying to one-up each other in terms of graphics and resolution, Minecraft seems to be really, really happy existing in this 1985-like, fuzzy, blocky, pixelated environment. But that's fine, it kind of makes the game cool like that. The other thing that you're going to notice about Steve's world is it doesn't have boundaries. You can walk and you can keep walking forever. You're not going to hit the edge of it. And in this way, the game truly is a sandbox. It's a chance to be incredibly explorative, and it's a chance to be incredibly creative. The video game is designed to be limited only by the creativity and the imagination of the player. There's no predetermined path. There's no predetermined objectives. There's no predetermined destination that you're trying to get to. The idea is to be creative, to make a living and survive in this world. The Minecraft world is made of blocks. That's a block of what? Wood. Specifically, I think it's oak. The Minecraft world is made of blocks, and the way Steve makes his living is he moves around his world and he destroys these blocks with his hands initially and then eventually tools, and then he collects the blocks and he uses those blocks to either build things or refines those blocks into usable materials. For example, if Steve wanted to do some digging, he would need a tool called a pickaxe. But in Minecraft, you can't just collect the pickaxe, you have to make a pickaxe. So if Steve wants a pickaxe, he first has to chop down a tree, and then he collects the blocks from that tree. And then he has to take those blocks of wood, and he has to turn them into wooden planks and sticks. Then, once he has the wooden planks and the sticks, he can go ahead and build himself a pickaxe and use his pickaxe to start digging. This is where we see how Minecraft can really foster things in our children like problem solving and logical thinking. You can't just go get the thing that you need. You have to figure out how to do it. And there are literally hundreds of different things that a player in the game can make, and every single one of those things has a very specific recipe and requires very specific materials. So for anything that a kid or a player or a gamer wants to make in this game, they have to either learn these recipes or figure them out through trial and error. So again, we're seeing great skills, problem solving, logical thinking. Give you an example here. This is a pickaxe. This one's made of iron. To make it, he uses my little, oh look, that works. Okay. To make it, you use two. I know the recipe for pickaxes is different now. I'm aware of that. He's really good at reminding me that he knows more about the game than I do. So if I want to make a pickaxe in this version, I would need 2 sticks and I would need 4. This is an iron pickaxe, so I'd need 4 blocks of iron. That's how I make a pickaxe. If I want to make an iron shovel, I need 2 sticks of wood and 1 piece of iron. If I want to make an axe, I need to do that. If I want to make a hoe, maybe I want to plant a garden, I'll do this. And if I want to make a sword to fight off the ghoulies, I'll do this. And so there are a lot of different recipes that we can use and a lot of different crafting that we can use. And this is going to reinforce really important cognitive skills in our kids. While they're playing, don't tell them this, they're actually learning. And they're practicing skills that are going to be really important and they're going to transfer outside of the game. When a kid says, I don't know how to make a shovel, where can I go to find the answer to that? When a kid says, I have a problem, what have I done in the past when I've had a problem similar to this? Or when a kid says, I need to remember how to make a shovel for next time, what tricks can I use mentally to help me remember that this is the recipe for a shovel? When they do those things, they're practicing really, really important skills. Question, young man. I'm sorry?
The wiki.
Exactly. You go to the wiki and find it out. And and the ability to know where you're going to go to find the answer to the question, I think is a really important skill, both for the game, for school, and for things outside. What about this? When a player looks at this and they say, you know, the recipe for an iron sword is the same as the recipe for a shovel, except I just substitute this middle stick for a block of iron to make a sword. That's pattern recognition. We're recognizing patterns. We're seeing transfer of materials. That's a really important cognitive skill in school. That's a really important cognitive skill out of school. What about when they say, I need to make both a sword and a pickaxe, but I only have 4 blocks of iron? Rudimentary, they're ingots of iron, I'm sorry. Rudimentary math skills. This is not high-level math, but we're practicing very basic math. Again, really important classification, organizational, and cognitive thinking skills. Unfortunately, as Steve learns to make his living in this world, as he's crafting things and refining these blocks and making the tools that he's going to need, all is not peaceful in the world. Because at night, the ghoulies come out. Things like skeletons, spiders, zombies, and the notorious creeper. When the sun goes down in Minecraft, these things all come out, and they all want nothing more than to destroy Steve. Now, in the Minecraft universe, a day is about 20 minutes. And so once the game begins, you only have about 10 minutes to build suitable shelter for Steve. So Steve can't take his time figuring all this out. He has to do it pretty quickly. So we're learning skills like working under a deadline. We're learning how to maybe handle, and it's low-level stress, I understand, but we are learning how to operate in a little bit of a stressful environment. In addition to running away from the things that want to eat him, Steve is also going to get hungry. So once he has shelter made, he's also got to figure out, okay, what am I going to eat? How am I going to keep myself alive in this world? Luckily, there are these random barnyard animals walking around in the forest on Minecraft. And at the beginning of the game, Steve can hunt these, kill them, eat their meat to provide sustenance. As the game goes on, though, Steve is going to discover fire. He's going to figure out fire, which is going to allow him to cook these animals once he kills them to gain more nutrition out of them. Eventually, Steve will probably set up some sort of agriculture, which will allow him to harvest the milk from the cows and the eggs from the chickens, and then he can start actually baking. He'll start growing plants and vegetables, grains, and even start catching fish from the abundant waterways that are in the Minecraft world. So we see this progression as Steve makes his living in the Minecraft universe from a very simple existence to a much more complex existence. Again, these are concrete, sequential, logical thinking type steps, and I believe these are steps that go a long ways to reinforcing these skills in kids outside of the game. So, our Steve has established a living in his vast world. He's protected himself from the ghoulies. He's found himself a way to get some food. Now the fun starts. Now we're going to start being creative, because this is where Steve gets to start building. This is where Steve is able to explore the many different biomes that exist in the Minecraft universe. This is where he's able to collect a variety of resources and start building a variety of structures that literally are limited only by the imagination of the gamer. Hey, you can get some Central WMS song. because what you can do with this game is really limited only by the imagination of the gamer. And a kid or an adult, a big person or a little person at this point is playing, but not only are they playing, but they're creating, and they're problem solving, and they're reasoning, and they're thinking, and they're working through some complex cognitive tasks, and it's really an exciting thing. And that's why I love seeing kids playing this game. As a player progresses through the game, though, they start to realize that there are other more advanced features of the game. One of my favorite things about the game is this. What is this? Redstone. So when Steve mines redstone, it looks kind of like this as a block, and when he mines it, he gets this little drop of red stuff. And what redstone is it's basically an electrical conductor. Redstone is a big innovation in the game because it allows people to actually create electrical circuits. And as you can see from this diagram, by using redstone, you can make almost a complete set of Boolean logic gates. As a science teacher, this really excites me because this is basic computer programming. This is basic electrical circuitry. This is a place where students and kids can really start to get into some coding and some things that are really, really important as we move farther and farther into the digital age. To give you just kind of an idea of how it works, I'm not going to show you this whole video, but this guy, he built this house, and inside this house he's got these little lamps in the corner. These lamps are special blocks that light up when they touch redstone. And you see he's hooked it to a switch, so when he turns that switch on and off, the lights actually go on and off in the house. And he opens the floor there, you can see that little red light. That's the redstone. And so if he were to dig out his whole floor, you'd see this intricate pathwork of these wires that he's made out of that redstone. Getting into, again, some really, this is higher end, logical thinking, critical thinking type stuff. And then he goes over here and shows you how to make the house, but we're not gonna spend a lot of time with that. Another thing that you notice as you continue to play the game, eventually they realize they're not the only person in the world playing this game. There are a lot of other people out there playing it as well. And you can play online Minecraft several ways. One of the first ways we did it is if you have more than one device on the same wireless connection, you can actually just play locally. So it's a good opportunity for you and your kids to actually play together. You have your iPhone, they have an iPad, and you can build together, you can battle together, you can really do whatever together. You can collaborate on separate devices. Another way that you can play is online via a whole lot of different public Minecraft servers. And these are really easy to find. A simple Google search will pull up dozens and dozens and dozens of them. The thing I like about the online Minecraft is your interaction with other players is actually really limited. They can see your avatar, and for the most part they can see if you want to type them a short message or something, but there's not a whole lot of information exchange between players. And so what we've used in our house is we've used the online multiplayer as a chance to start teaching very basic skills of not only online etiquette, but more importantly, online safety. What do you talk about online and what do you not talk about online? It's been a great, really safe environment to start having that discussion with Matthew. Another thing that they're going to notice as you play this game is that there are a lot of people who like to videotape themselves playing this game and upload those pictures of themselves or videos of themselves playing that game to YouTube. Stampy Cat. This guy from the UK, he goes by the handle of Stampy Longhead, and he has a whole lot of videos on his YouTube channel of him playing Minecraft.
Hello, my name is Stampy, and welcome to my small corner of the internet. I make videos on a bunch of different games and upload at least one Minecraft video every single day. I always have fun when I make my videos, and hopefully, if you decide to stick around, you will too. Here is a short montage of some of the things that I've been getting up to. I hope you will enjoy it. What's on the floor? Is this cake? It's just cake everywhere, as far as the eye can see. Oh, look, it's Santa! Look, Santa's eating my cake! Oh my god, he's eating my cake! Oh, he's on fire! Woo! No, I died! Come on, give me a baby sheep, give me a baby sheep. Oh, it's a little purple sheep! I got purple babies! Look at it! Look at it! How incredible is this? Check that out! How about that? Look at here go and light up the cruise ship in the night. way. That is epic. There's a village on top of this boat, a massive cruise ship. It's just amazing views wherever you look. And look at these amazing views. Mum, look at that. Look at that city down there.
It looks like one of them sandwiches. You know, you get them, what is it, one of them biscuits? Are they Oreos? You know, when you get like a middle layer which is white and then the top and bottom layer of biscuits.
This does not look like an Oreo. Hello. Please, I've already got one shoe. Stop making me run around. Oh, give me come on, please. I can try. Hello. Oh, she loves me. Look where you're going. Come on, where is she? There she is. Run back. Oh no, you dropped me down. Dropped me down. No. Oh my goodness.
I think I've got a pretty good idea.
Look at us. I only pretended to throw it. No, dead. That's the game of lemon. I have no idea what he's got. I don't know. Oh, no, there's lava. Okay, here we go. I can hear the engine starting. There's a thrusters and we're taking off. We have launched. Mr. Stumpy Cat is finally going for a trip to the moon. Yay! This is such a ridiculous sight. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Bye!
With millions of subscribers and over a billion with a B, over a billion individual views, Stampy Cat has fans around the world and is one of really kind of this new breed of celebrity, an online gaming celebrity. Your kids, if they play Minecraft, will watch him, and they will watch him a lot. And that's okay. And that's okay for several reasons. First of all, to watch an instructional video online and then to use that information to try to create something for yourself is an incredibly important piece of practice in following directions. To see something that somebody else did online and to say, hey, I wonder if I could do that, go back to the computer, to your own Minecraft world, and try to replicate that is an incredibly important piece of practice in problem solving. It's fun, but it's also learning. It's a chance to practice and reinforce some really important cognitive skills. And as a guy, as a dad, who's trying to teach my son that he doesn't always have to be macho, it's fun, in the case of Stampy Cat, to see a guy, a 23-year-old man, having fun being goofy with his 22-year-old friends. Being silly, jumping around, laughing, exploring, playing, having real, genuine male fun. The online world a lot of times allows boys to do that in a way that unfortunately the real world doesn't let. So let's bring this home. The title of this talk is Encouraging Mine-craftiness. And we've went through several things. It's been kind of a whirlwind tour. Again, if you're somebody who plays this game often and regularly, I probably haven't shared anything new with you. But I want to kind of recap the highlights and talk about the specific points that I think are really, really important I hope you take away from here. How do you encourage Mine-craftiness in people? Learn the game. Learn the game. If your kids are into it, you owe them to at least understand it. When they come and talk to you about creepers and zombies and redstone, you should understand what they're talking about. You don't have to love it, but you need to understand it. Don't be afraid to play with them. Don't be afraid to get online. Don't be afraid to sit down next to them when they're at the computer. Play with them. Let them be the expert. Sit down and talk to them. Hey, what are you doing? How did you do that? Did you have any problems when you came up with that? How did you solve those problems? Let them feel good. Let them teach you something. Set boundaries, not stigmas. I am not saying that you should let your kid play Minecraft 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm saying that with the proper boundaries, it's not only is it not a bad thing, but it can actually be a good thing. Reinforce boundaries, do not reinforce stigmas. The worst thing you can do is make your kid feel like something that they're doing is dumb. Challenge them. Matthew and I were at the bank the other day and we looked around and there's all these vaults and all these dials and windows and bars, and we looked around and we said, hey, we should try to build this on Minecraft. So we did. We went home and we tried. Didn't do a very good job of it, but we tried. We tried together. Model and encourage problem-solving behaviors. When they get frustrated with the game, help them walk through that frustration. Help them solve that problem. Share with them some of the ways that you work through problems when you get frustrated in something at work or something in your life. Explicitly teach appropriate online behaviors. Talk to them about online etiquette. Talk to them about online safety. Share with them, reinforce with them, be very strict with them what's appropriate online and what's not. Validate what they are doing. Let them know that you think what they're doing is cool and that you think what they're doing is important. And last, and probably most important, have fun with them. The online gaming community, video games allow an unprecedented chance for parents of this generation to really engage in true, meaningful, level playing field type play with their kids. And I think that's a really awesome thing. And I feel really, really fortunate to be able to have some of these tools in the arsenal that we use as we raise our kids. Because at the end of the day, raising this little kid and that little one out there not only is the most important job that we have as parents, but it should also probably be the most enjoyable one that we have as well.
Let's go to a place where everything is made of blocks, where the only limit is your imagination. Let's go wherever you want to go. Climb the tallest mountains. Venture down to the darkest caves. Build anything you want. Day or night, rain or shine. Because this is the most significant sandbox you'll ever set foot in. Build a majestic castle. Invent a new machine. Or take a ride on a roller coaster. Play with friends. Build your own little community. Protect yourself with the strongest armor that you can craft. And fight off the dangers of the night. No one can tell you what you can or cannot do. There's no rules to follow. This adventure, it's up to you.
And that's all we got. We got about 15 minutes before the next group, the next people come into here. What I'll do is I'll open it up if you have any questions for either me or for Matthew. If you want to share experiences that you've had with Minecraft and things that you've done with Minecraft that you think are applicable to what we're doing today, we'd be glad to listen. We'll be around here all day. If you have questions for myself or Matthew, or you want to have a discussion, that's fine. I am on Twitter, so if you want to follow me, it is shameless plug there at Mr. Majette. So, Matthew, is there anything you want to say to him?
No.
You stated that in the game you are not alone. You stated that this
The question is, in the game, I stated that you're not alone, so can people destroy what you build? Because the worst thing is to build a big Lego castle and then have somebody come through the living room and tear it down. And the answer to that question is, if you're playing by yourself on the computer, no. You have that file is stored on your computer. It'll be there the next time you come in and open up that world. Now, if you're on a public server, if you're on a public server that other people have access to, yeah, then they could. If you're playing on multiple devices, then yes, if you've got more than one person playing maybe on an iPad, a phone or something, then yes, they could. So if you're playing with other people, they could. I know we've had this, or if your little sister picks up the iPad and logs into your world and destroys your castle, that can happen. But the file itself is saved in your local computer, so as long as you're not playing on a public server, it should be safe. Yeah, buddy. He asked why the Apple picture's there. That's just my background on my computer. My computer's an Apple, so I put an Apple up there. My kids in my classroom think it's funny that I have a creeper coming through my computer, so I always like to change my background on my computer to It would be really, the one that we saw in the video, yeah, it would be really, really hard to make that work. And that's one of the discussions that we've had many times in our house, is that what you see on YouTube are guys who are lucky enough to have a job doing this, and they spend lots and lots of hours doing it. That's a great point. The point that he makes is basic multiplication. If I have a house and the wall is 4 blocks wide and 3 blocks tall, how many total blocks do I need to make that wall? Anybody that plays Minecraft knows what half of 64 is, because things in Minecraft are stacked in stacks of 64. So it's a great mathematical game, and the math that you can play with it when you really dig into it is like. Typing, and that's actually a point that I had in the presentation, that when we were running late, I skipped over that. That playing with other people, when you have to start typing, you learn keyboarding skills really fast. You learn punctuation, you learn grammar. The other thing that Matt people like to do is the cheat codes at the bottom, where you can change from night to day if you give yourself a sword. The cheat codes are awesome for typing as well, along with basic. You're also getting into basic coding, basic logic. And the thing I like about those is they don't work unless you spell it exactly correctly. So spelling is important to reinforces that. All right, we're gonna shut it down and let the next group get in here and get set up. Thanks for coming out to ConfabuLarryum today, and thanks for hanging out with us.